Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good people. Happy Monday, happy freaking Monday. It's your boy, ubrada nce umpandla kajulu ma-7 ashikho emthinzi athunga buleleni insizwa acende simaganko omsengelele ngoba bamile akhahlele uvica udubandlela ongagezanga wabona insile emfulweni agezanga babona amafukatenge siqunge sihle singahlalanye ngoba zolezalela amasakabulu bathi ngunxe unxebela ndoda axikiza amadoda ngamanxeba agxumisa amaxoxa jika nxapha ukhoze emaphiko ndizela phezulu ezinye ndizela phansi umcoshethelo lenkomo zona zasinda umqhakazo phansi emntazi langisoya khona ngokuzala imfuna ngiphuza Sprite ngazala ngiphuza Coke basuxuba khunye ukhala bemgeza into zimfuna zonke noma esethu usindisiwe yenina man unqewu inceku danko kaningi bekele ibeke it's NK1 show with your boy ubrother Ncewu. It's your #1 online show. It's where we discuss about a lot of topics, and today bafethu I hope you guys are good, fresh and active since we Boys to Men's conference. Please do share the live, mention people and extend the invitation. Make sure Uguti, you are sharing the live. Make sure Uguti, you are mentioning people, especially men, because this conference is for men. We are dedicating the month of October to all the men, where we transform boys to men. Njengoba nibona ukuthi angihambi ngedwa, ngihamba nomhlonishwa la Mr. Ntshalitshali. Man of God, can you please greet us and introduce yourself to our people and all our viewers?
Ngiyambingelela bonke who are listening. Igama lami Mbongiseni Ntshalitshali. I'll be with you till the end of the show today.
Thank you very much, man of God. Sakuthokozela ukuba nawe la namhlanje. It's a privilege and honor to have you on the show. Guys, please do share the live, mention people. Sixolise kakhulu bafethu ngokwenzekile izolo. We are still planning on rescheduling the show ya izolo, so siyathemba ukuthi niyasixolela kakhulu bafethu. We'll show ya izolo. But nevertheless, we are here today on NK1 show on our topic on being a man. Namhlanje uzokufunda kabanzi ngokuba indoda. If you uyafisa ukwazi ukuthi kunjani ukuba indoda, how it like to be a man, if you want to transform from being a boy and become a man, this is the platform you should be la namhlanje on NK1 show on our topic being a man. You know the grill, you know the vibe. Share the live, mention people, extend the invitation. I see people are coming in. People are coming in. I want to see those shares, guys. I want to see those shares popping. Come on, guys. I want to see those shares popping. I want to see the number going up, because namhlanje kuzoba mnandi kakhulu bafethu. Sizofunda kakhulu kuyophela le show. Amadoda ayobe sedodiseke ngempela. So without waste of any time, I'm just gonna give our guest ithuba lokuthi asifundise sifunde since we men's conference. Thank you very much, guys. I can see people are coming in. People are coming in numbers. Ozan. Man of God, once again, siphinde sibonga ukuthi siphinde sibe nawe la on the show. This is a week 2 on Boys to Men's conference, where we transform boys to men. It's all about men. Sizokhulisa, sizozama ukubhalansisa into yamadoda la khona siqinisa amadoda to transform the church and families, because we believe ukuthi if umhlaba sifuna ukubona ikusasa elihle la emhlabeni, kumele siqinise kakhulu, sifundise kakhulu amadoda. So I'm just going to give you the platform ukhulume nathi ukuthi uNkulunkulu ubeke namhlanje enhlizweni yakho ukuthi uyikhulume namadoda.
Thank you, my brother. Mhlambe okokuqala nje Ncewu ake ngibeke ukuthi in most of these men conferences sometimes that we do, you will find ukuthi we don't specifically talk about the topic esuke size ngayo. We find ourselves esuke bese siyaphuma and speak about uyabona lento ye blame shifting ukuthi it's these people that are causing us to do things like this and that. This is not one of those things that we're going to do. We are just strictly going to talk about ama issues facing and amadoda and deal with those issues and probably try and find out ukuthi iziphi izinto that we find ourselves getting into as a common to all of us. Mhlawumbe ake ngithi, if you want to know ukuthi what exactly is it to be a man, maybe you should then go back to why was the man created in the first place. Because awukwazi ukukhuluma ngento ungazi ukuthi yayenziweleni ekuqaleni ukuqala kwayo. You know, when God created man, uma edala uAdam, umdala umlethe emhlabeni, right? And uAdam umletha ubese umnikeza izinto that shuthi ngamanye amazwi he gives Adam ama responsibilities. uNkulunkulu wayenenhloso ngomhlaba, but firstly he had to create a foundation. So he brings in man in a form of a foundation so that whatever plan anayo ngomhlaba, i-foundation yakhona ibe solid in terms of the man. Now he gives man a command ukuthi do not eat kulesi sihlahla, ebese emnikeza ama responsibilities, name the animals, cultivate this place, make it look good, and all of those things. Now, one thing we have to understand ukuthi ngalesikhathi emletha umuntu indoda emhlabeni uyiletha uSathane uvela ukhona, right? And indoda yahlala for 30 years. Ukhona uSathane ikhona nayo, but the connection, what is making him not to do anything outside of what God has said, is because there is a connection between the creator and the one that was created. The relationship continues until such time God decides ukuthi, because this guy performs ama duties akhe ngendlela engimuphume ngayo, he deserves much more. He gives him a woman, right? Umemnikeza umuntu wesifazane. Now that's when the devil gets the opportunity, and that's where most of us get confused, and that's where the confusion of men starts. Ukuthi siqalephi ukuyilahla. Now siyilasha uma, because if you look at it, umunikezwe responsibility, most men into ebenza kwesinye isikhathi nje uzokuthiwa amadoda anamanga, right? Why amadoda anamanga kangaka? Now if you trace it back ukuthi lento iqhamuka kaphi, uma uNkulunkulu ebuza kuAdam ukuthi Adam udlile yini, and uAdam impendulo yakhe ithi yilo wesifazane onginike yena. He doesn't take ownership of what he has done. Why is that? Because useyibona, once you are given irresponsibility enkulu and once you fail, indoda iyahluleka owner up in most cases. And those are because uyayibona njengokuthi if I accept and admit failure, then I'm less of a man. That's where the problem comes. Ukuthi, we want to impress by making the situation worse. Because into eyenza ukuthi angavumi kwakukuthi wayengafuni ukubonakala uNkulunkulu ukuthi usephoxile, usephumile entweni uNkulunkulu abemtshele yona, regardless of ukuthi ubani wenzeni, but yena as a person that was given the responsibility. Now that is one of the reasons why you will find ukuthi the origination of why every time umbuzo umuntu ukuthi umbuzo indoda nomuntu wesilisa ukuthi were you doing 1 2 3 and 4, most of the time the answer you will get is he will either shift the blame or will either try to protect something that nayangazi ukuthi protect her, solely because kunalento ethi I might look like I'm less of a man. Now this is the problem. It's more prevalent to, because we've got a generation eyathathelwa obaba. See, generation ekhula fatherless. I'm one of those people that was raised by a single mother. Not that I would blame everything on that, but that has a huge effect ekukhuleni kwendoda, because lithi iBhayibheli insimbi lolenye insimbi ayikazi insimbi lolwe isponge noma utshani noma ilolwa enye insimbi. So in the absence of a man, we are creating a diluted type of males that will never transform from ekubeni abafana to actually becoming men. Because ubudoda, it's something that you have to do. It is not because you are born a male, then you become a man. No. Man is something that you graduate to by certain actions that you do. Now, issue is, who is going to prescribe that for this generation? If there is a gap where there was a fatherlessness from a certain period of time to a certain period of time, what then happens to that gap? Is it not why we're in the situation that we are in because of that gap that was created, and we find ourselves wanting ukuthi kahle kahle siyini? What is it that we're here for? Because if you look at it, men are becoming more and more scarce. Kufana nalento ethi it's a species that is disappearing. And the unfortunate situation is that nobody is noticing. And if the men that are the ones that are now becoming endangered are not noticing that and have things that they will sort out in order to fix that, the situation will deteriorate and it will get worse and worse. So I was just trying to lay a background ukuthi ezinye zezinto ziqhamuka. For example nje, kunalento yokuthi amadoda ayathanda ukuyiprove ukuthi I want to prove myself ukuthi I'm a man. Uyabo? Esingeke sazi ukuthi uma uEva eqhamuka kuAdam ethi I know mina sengidlile. What made him ukuthi naye athi, you know what, noma ngabe uNkulunkulu utheni, but maybe let me just prove myself to this woman ukuthi I'm man enough ukuthi I can do whatever. You understand where I'm coming from? So kunezinto abantu besilisa abamoshayo ngazo for this thing of trying to prove themselves to whether another sex or to themselves as well. And uma ubheka kahle iBhayibheli lithi uNkulunkulu wambuza wathi ngoba uthi uAdam bengisaba ukuvela because I was naked. Uthi, who told you you were naked? Now that statement on its own is very critical. Kufana nento ukuthi, who do you want to believe? Who told you guys ukuthi you are dogs? Who told you ukuthi you are not men enough?
Yeah.
It's either you believe a statement that was made by God, ukuthi njoba ngikuletha la emhlabeni you are a man and you are enough mina. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone ukuthi you are a man. The only person that you have to impress is me, which is God. Now, we find ourselves again, siyithola sesiphume esandleni by trying to prove something that we are. In any event, we are men, and that will never be taken away from us. What we need to do is to embrace it, because it's slowly but surely it's been taken away. Kancane. Kunalento esiyenza men feel so little in such a way that they don't even want to talk about themselves. They will hide in a corner somewhere and want to talk about issues in a corner somewhere, but not want to talk about their issues as dlangalale, simply because it's this thing of ngoba whoever wants to say ukuthi he's describing who a man is. You can't. You have to take it back from the one that created these people, and then the description will come from there. Exactly. So let us, as men, go back and rediscover what is the true meaning of who we are before we can go forward. And because the problem is we've got this diluted version of men who are males, and that diluted version ile genge yamadoda captured omuzwa olimini uma ikhuluma ukuthi lo ukhuluma into a influence yona abanye abantu ukuthi but it is not what is needed.
Yeah.
If ufuna ukudodisa amadoda, atshela amadoda ukuthi bafowethu nakhu la sishayeka khona. Kuze kuthiwe nje siyizinja, which we are not, but kuze kuthiwe siyizinja, it's because one, we are trying to impress and we are trying to prove ourselves endaweni wrong. Sifuna ukuprova into esivele sidalwe nayo. Excuse me. So it's all those things that we need to take into account, because before you can actually talk about men and their issues and what, you have to go back to what was the direct intention behind the creation of these guys. So that's where we are right now. Now, kunalento ethi where to from here now? We are in a situation, we find ourselves in this type of situation la khona esine confusion yokuthi sihamba kuphi, sikuphi, siyaphi, siyofika nini la sikhona. Now siyabadinga abantu abazosilekelela. Usangizwa mntaka.
No, ngisakuzwa sir, ngisakuzwa.
Okay. So siyabadinga abantu abazosilekelela ukuthi basikhombise indlela, because uma kuthiwa indlela ibuzwa kwabaphambili, ibuzwa kwabaphambili ngempela. We need men, real men, true men, abazosinikeza abasebeyihambile indlela, because some of us get confused by these males abazama ukuzenza amadoda kanti bane agenda yabo abayinikezwe yona eseceleni engahlangene nokuthi si-empowerishwe thina as men, so that we can have better relationships, so that we can have better marriages, so that we can have better families and we have a better community and a South Africa at large.
Yeah.
We have to also kufanele accept ukuthi siyaleka and siyadinga ukuthi kube khona la esizogayidwa khona, and akekho omunye umuntu ongayenza leyo job ngaphandle kwamanye amadoda aseyihambile indlela. Excuse me. So coming back to the issue, so now that we've laid the foundation, ukuthi iziphi izinto that we struggle with, about the small things that we struggle with. For example, nje kunalento ethi ubuhle bendoda inkomo zayo. If you look at that description, I'm not saying that this is less or as corner. There was a reason why that was said. But if you look at the Bible, if uzobheka iBhayibheli alisho lutho ngalokho. iBhayibheli likhuluma a different story ukuthi what is a desire of a man. And the Bible says the desire of a man is his kindness. Amanye amazwi is his graciousness, is his grace. Bese lithi, and a poor man is better than a liar. Now that is where I wanted to come to ukuthi lize lithi ingcono indoda ehluphekayo kunendoda enamanga.
Yo.
Thina siyibambe ekutheni ungamane uqamba amanga uthola ama-riches ukuze ube muhle.
Yeah.
It comes back to this point. Who told you you were naked? Who told you ubuhle bakho is uyayibona lento, the situation that we are a lost generation that takes things noma ikuphi la iqhamuka khona just because vele azazi ukuthi sifit happy.
Yeah.
If I had a father that was going to tell me ukuthi mfana wami, listen to me, my marriage failed with your mother because of this and this and this and this and this, um, it was going to be easy for me to watch out for those things before I go to any relationship with any woman, because women are a different species, which
Yeah,
was created, for an advancement of indoor.
true.
Now, awukwazi ukuthi ufike kuleso space because umuntu wesifazane ufika eseredi ukuzosebenza umsebenzi wakhe. Now
Yeah,
awukwazi ukufika wena ushoda, yabona. Ingakho ethi uNkulunkulu akasho ukuthi nombani, uthi a man with these kind of characters. Kusho ukuthi uAdam wayezenzile lezi zinto kwathiwa uyamdinga umsizi. Yabo. Not anyone deserves a helper. So you need then abantu who have experienced this thing of staying with helpers. Now, i-problem ekhona ukuthi abantu leli gama elithi help abali-interpreta ngendlela wrong. Yabona i-helper kusiyo lento ukuthi i-helper umuntu that is going to advance the plan forward. Not a person ozomgcoba ngeenyawo noma ozomcontroller. No. A helper is someone that, because uma ubheka kahle iBhayibheli lithi wabakhanda bobabili equally. It created them equally, but uma esebaletha ubaletha nga-1-1. You understand? So
yeah.
in other words, akekho okwakufanele ukuthi aphathe omunye acontrol omunye, but they were designed for specific purposes. I-purpose yomuntu wesilisa uma uNkulunkulu emakha wayezokwakha i-foundation, because a man lived, abalaziyo kakhulu iBhayibheli bazongicorrecta abalokhuza bathi umuntu wesilisa wahlala, uAdam wahlala for at least 30 years uEve engakabikho. Now he was doing something. He was not just sitting down. He was doing something emhlabeni, and he was doing it in a connection nomuntu omakhile. Kuzofanele ukuthi sibheke ukuthi, where do we come from? Do we still have that connection with where do we come from? Awukwazi ukuthatha iMercedes uyihambise la kukhandwa khona ezinye imoto uma ufuna ibe right ihambe kahle.
Sure.
Kuzofanele ukuthi uyise la bayikhanda khona, because bazokukhiphela imanual. When you are a man and you go to God, God just takes out the manual and it tells you these things. Uyakubuza ama questions ukuthi, do you know why I created you? Do you understand ukuthi why they say ukuthi you are not man enough, you are a liar, you are a dog? Do you understand that? But do you want to believe that? Because actually there's nothing in the Bible that says you men are dogs, or you men are this, or you are not man enough. There's nothing that is written like that in the Bible. But we go on and we want to believe a certain aspect or a certain population of people nabo nakhona abancane abafuna ukwenza a certain statement and to prove their own agendas. We cannot shy away from the fact that as men we do have our own mistakes. But inkinga yethu ukuthi we didn't know ukuthi some of these mistakes are ngaphi. And we need to go back and find ourselves ukuthi uma ngibuza, because lento it's iqala uma wakho, for example, ekubuza ethe ngithe ungaboya endaweni ukuthi, I told you not to go to a place like this. As a man, you develop a skill sokumfunda ukuthi umuntu kanje. So for me to get away, because angifuni ukubonakala, that's a problem of a man. Akafuni umuntu wesilisa ukubonakala as a failure. Why? Because of ama responsibilities asemahlombe akhe. Mhlawumbe ezinye zezinto that we need to look out for is, why are we not open about these issues? Why singafuni ukukhuluma? Why ukuba indoda kube ukuthi kufanele uthule uvalele izinto ngaphakathi? What is manly about that? And we need to question all those things. Kubudoda ngaliphi lokho. Ngoba zikhona izinto. Yabona makuthiwa indoda ayikhali. Akusuke kungashiwo ukuthi indoda ayikhali inyembezi literally. Kusuke kusho ukuthi you don't complain with others when they complain. Because hayi ukuthi akufanele bese no. It's a wrong statement. When you look at David was one of the toughest men and he was a king, but we find him crying because of his mistakes, right? So it does not mean ukuthi awukhali because ekhaleni kwakho ekhaleni kwakho akufanele ukuthi openly you complain with everybody, but you have to have a place where you cry. That is what men don't have. That is why we find ourselves in this situation. That is why we find ourselves. For example, maybe let me just say this because umoya ngwela uthi angikhuluma.
Yeah.
Nalento yokuthi uthola ukuthi umuntu usehlukumeza umuntu wesifazane ngoba emthola ukuthi mhlambe une relationship nomunye umuntu yabona uthola ukuthi sekuba physically sekuyacatsha sekuyaliwa. It boils down to one thing. Uma ngafika ngitshele omunye umuntu there is a friend of mine who is a man, chances are uzofika hleke. Yabo uzofika ngihleke and look at me as less of a man. So for me, into engizozama ukuyenza is to try and prove to this person ongenze wrong ukuthi I'm actually a man more than what you think. Yila khona siyipatshaza khona. It's the proving, it's the trying to prove something that you're a man. Uchitheliwe awuchithelwanga uyindoda nje. There's nothing wrong with you. Into mhlambe kusuke kufanele uyi-accept ukuthi wenza i-mistake wathemba umuntu wrong, and you should accept i-mistake yakho as a man in your corner somewhere. Accept it ukuthi yazi ngenza i-mistake, I trusted a wrong person, maybe next time these are the things that I should look for and move forward. That's what manhood is about. But we can't do all those things because we've got a very big gap where kune fatherlessness engakazibona. Mhlawumbe ngelinye ilanga we'll talk about i-cause ye-fatherlessness ukuthi kahle kahle iqhamuka ngaphi le nto, besides it coming from the devil and manipulating situation so that kuzoba njengale ndlela okuyiyona. Because most of the problems that are here is the taking away of men from ingane. Sekuyisona isikhathi lesokubuyisela oyise kubantwana. This is the time, and we need to start from here now and tell men, guys, actually there's not much that is wrong with you. There is much that is wrong with the outside information that comes in your mind, because you must be careful of what you listen to. Lithi neBhayibheli, faith ukholwa nje comes by hearing. Now, not just by hearing anything, it's by hearing the word of Christ. Now, if uzolalela izinto ezikhulunywa emhlabeni, you are a dog, you are this, vele uzogcina in your mind ukholwa lokho. Your faith will be ukuthi wena uyilento eshiwo ngaphandle. But if you listen to the creator that created you, you will understand ukuthi actually this is what I need to believe about myself. So you must be careful ukuthi ulalelani ukholwani. Goes back to one thing. Who said you are naked? So those are the things that adinga ukuthi as men we need to reconcile with. But the future is bright. Let me just say that. The future is bright because we have started the conversation. And we need to have these conversations fearlessly. Singasabi ukuthi mhlawumbe ubani uzothi no, we are not talking about anybody else, we are talking about us, and we are trying to resolve our issues ethu so that we can be better people to everybody else that is around us. Because, for example, let me just say this. Yabona nje lento ye-fatherlessness, mhlawumbe ake ngisho nje in short. Ukuthi, let me talk about the Black South African specifically. Ngikhuluma lokhu ngamabomu, not nothing to say with other people that are affected. Every man is affected, but on this one, I will contextualize it on the Black community. Now, there's a time where men were in the 1800s, where men were present in their homes when there was nothing kuthiwa umsebenzi. When these things is kwamaplazi and the coming of abelungu bethatha umhlaba kuqalwa lezi zinto zamaplazi, kwaqalwa lento yokuthi uma uyindoda kufanele usebenze eplazini ukuze ube nayo ilungelo lokuthi uhlale khona, right? Kuthe makusuka kwase developwa that about 1900s, 1914 onwards, kwase developwa amadolobha njengo Durban, njengo Johannesburg, where there were mines and whatnot. Then you were required as a man by law ukuthi you must work 6 months on the farm and 6 months eGoli or wherever there's a development. So now systematically you are taking the men away. So these women now were left there to figure things out on their own. And that's when this fatherless generation then became. Yahamba ke lento yawukhondolo kuze kube manje, because umbuza nje umuntu because this thing started early in the 40s, in the 50s. You'll find ukuthi certain men now are disappearing, and kwase kuba naleyo confusion. And if you look at each generation noma isizwe esinale nkinga ye-fatherlessness, you will find ukuthi it's us, the Black community.
Definitely.
Exactly. So leyo nto isuka lapho, that's where the gap started. So we now thina, because esifanele sikukhulekele kuNkulunkulu ukuthi because we didn't have fathers to raise us, at least senze sibe obaba. To the generation now that is coming. Now ayikho into elukhuni njengokuba ubaba when we are figuring it out on your own without any proper guidance, because whatever mistakes owenzayo aqala ngawo. Akusiwo ama mistakes wabone uyabona kungcono mawuzwe kuthiwa uAbraham wasuke wangaba confident enough esithembisweni sikaNkulunkulu wazenzela eyakhe miracle ngokuthi athole uIshmael. So yabo lapho ukuthi there's a precedent, kukhona umuntu oke wayihamba indlela. So you learn from that ukuthi if kunesethembiso esenzekile, this is the way that you must follow, right? But with us, we are carrying our own maps. Asina map ehamba phambili esitshela ukuthi uyabona ke la awungeni kanje, uyabona ke la awungeni kanje. That is why for example the level of ama divorces akhona njengamanje. Mina nje as a practicing attorney, well, I stopped doing divorces, but statistics show ukuthi the level of ama divorces enzeka manje. Ukukhumbula kahle mhlambe from those that were angikhumbuli mina from umkhulu wokhokho angaze ngizokuthiwa kwakukhona into ekuthiwa divorce.
Ayingekho.
But we don't have that information ukuthi babeyenza kanjani lento yenzeke. Uyabo, sesinalalamazwi aringe endlebeni zethu esasiwatshelwa woma ukuthi kuukuthi, but you don't know ukuthi Because as a man, once we are cooler, noma ngabe kuthiwa my mom did a wonderful job on me, but kunezinto engishoda ngazo that my father was going to tell me if akazange ahambe emhlabeni mhlambe ngisemncane or whatever the case may be. But because whatever happened between them, it was through no fault of my dad, probably through no fault of my mother. And angihlangene vele mina naleyo nto le, into yabo le. And that's one of the things that ekuzofanele sifundisane wona siyamadoda. Ungahlangani nento engahlangene nawe.
Yeah.
Impi yama-parents akho awungeni wona.
True.
Your father is your father. Kufanele ukuthi ubuyele kuye ngoba if you decide any type of a circumstance, we decide based on one version, it shows a level of a lack of wisdom. Lithi iBhayibheli uNkulunkulu wanikeza uSolomoni wisdom. Into yokuqala yenza kunabantu besifazana ababili ababe bangengane. Akabizanga yedwa. Wababiza bobabili. So that thing says to you, there's always two sides to a story. And then bese kuba iqiniso. So you can't make a decision, especially men. This thing, I've seen guys losing it. Umuntu akutshela ukuthi ayikho mina into engayitshelwa ubaba ngoba he was not there for me. Sonke leso speech leso. You understand? Umuntu uyabhekisisa ukuthi le information uyitholaphi. And you'll find out ukuthi oh, the information is backed up by a person on ama issues who's involved deeply with the situation. Now you can't. Awukwazi ukuthatha and conclude based on that. So you need to surf the information. That is why uAbraham kwakufanele into eyishuwo uSarah ethi I know mhlawumbe uNkulunkulu bethi lala nasi sisebenza ukuze sithole ingane kwakufanele ayisefe angayithathi raw injengoba injalo. That's one of the lessons ukuthi as men you can't just take it's the same thing eyenzeka na kuAdam. Kwakufanele ukuthi le information ayisefe. Learn to surf the information. Eqhamuka noma ngayikuphi. Is it coming from God or is it coming from an individual? That is what make iyona into ekwenza ukuthi ube indoda leyo ukuthi those are the little things that we are lacking as men ukuthi kunezinto esesiyithathe uyabona nje makuthiwa men are dogs nathi sivume sithi ya vele you can't subscribe to that because God created you, and when God created you, he was excellent in his creation. And that creation still exists till to date. And that foundation still exists till to date. What omunye one of respected man of God, what he a man is a foundation, but uma ubheka indlu ubuke indonga and everything, but the foundation akekho nje umuntu mayengena endlini abuke foundation. Everyone else looks at the walls and how beautiful the house is, but no one will ever look at the foundation. That's the situation that men find themselves in. But we are not there to be looked at in any event. We are there to take our responsibility. La khona esibonayo ukuthi we are failing. We must accept it. La siyahluleka iziphi izinto esingazenza ukuze siqhubekele phambili. Ukuhluleka kwethu does not make us less of men, but it makes us ukuthi i-connection yethu nalowo wasakha bese sibuyela kuyena ukuthi sehlulekile la senze njani uma sekunje. Because ngiyaye ngithi mina to my wife, you guys are lucky because you have me, which person is the last resort ongathi izinto mase yishuba ngempela uthi hey, sekunokuthi kwenzeka ukuthi kwenzeka ukuthi kwenzeka ukuthi. And mina into engizoyisho kuwena ukuthi don't worry, I will sort it out, right? But mina as a man now, but mina, have you ever thought ukuthi anginayo mina leyo privilege yokuthi kukhona umuntu engizofike ngikhale kuye ngithi hey uyazi sibani bani sengishayisa imoto la angisazi sengizokwenza njani, athi lo muntu isala nami, the buck stops with me. Now for me not to be frustrated, that link between myself and the one that created me has to exist. Otherwise uthola abantu beyihenga, uthola abantu esedubula omunye aphinda adubula omunye ayidubule yena, uthola abantu because of that type of a situation. Because what we do, we bottle things in, we don't talk about these things, we want to prove ukuthi we can do everything. We can't. We can't. So basically that is what I had for me umoya engcwele nje ayibekile kumina ukuthi these are the things. Unless you've got any questions on the I think I've spoken a mouthful. Unless kukhona mhlawumbe ufuna ukuthola or questions that you have just to identify certain issues.
No, thank you very much, man. Of course, there are a lot of things that you have touched, or we confirmation of the things that we've shared like, on Facebook about men. Like Gizobala nje, why do men lie? The responsibility men have, the pressure that men have as being a man, carrying the title of man, the things that men do because of protecting the title or the crown that they holding of being man. Ziningi izinto eziyi-confirmation osuyithintile esakhuluma ngazo la. So but let me just go through our comments on Facebook. Siza ukuthi abantu bathini mhlambe imibuzo. Sino Inga nathi Inkosi Praise Totolo is saying, who then is gaining to prescribe manhood? This generation where there is into this generation where there is a gap. Aphinde athi trying to prove what we are. In any effect, we are men. That doesn't change. Thank you very much, Inganati. Aphinde futhi athi some of us get confused by these males that disguise as men and have their own agenda that has nothing to do with empowering men into being men for better families, better marriages. That comes from Inganati. Pastor Mondli Zikonja Uti, what an informative conversation. Who told you that you are naked? Power to that. We don't have to prove that we are men. We obtain it from God. Thank you very much, my brother Zikonja. Pastor Allen is saying into eyenza singafuni ukukhuluma is because we have been conditioned to buckle things up, which has contributed to the scourge of GPV and boys and men taking their own lives. Men expressing their pain is interpreted as being weak. That is very, very true, Alan. One of the reasons why men will never talk, it's because whenever men trying to express ama feelings akhe kuvele kubonekala kungazuthi weak. Ria Evangelist Ria Mqadi, long time Ria uthi what you hear leads to what you believe, and believing influences the way of living. You guys are powerful on these comments. And then again, Pastor Allen is saying, yes, umsebenzi was a capitalist. Oh God, this is yes, umsebenzi was a capitalist method pushing the destruction of the family unit. It's painful to Alan. Ria is saying that was intentional towards the black family. They knew that in order to destroy people and bring them into chaos, you disrupt the family unit. That unity is the foundation of our communities. And iyabonakala indawo engenabo obaba. Yo, aphinde athi futhi uMondli, very true about the root cause of the fatherless. Uyihlabe esikhonkosini baba. Bashiye omama bodwa emakhaya kwanda abafana abadala abanentshebe, hayi amadoda. Yo, I think enye yezinto ekumele engifuna sikhulume ngazo la ukuthi ukahle kahle ke when it comes to in the level yokuba indoda, how do we then see ukuthi okay, this one is a man? Because njengoba ngimngaka nje mina mhlawumbe nginentshebe ngoba sengikhulile mhlawumbe ngisebenza kuthiwa ngiyindoda, ngabe kungilungele yini ukuthi mina ngiyindoda just because sengimdala ngikhulile nginentshebe sekuthiwa ngiyindoda? How do we see ukuthi lo usekhulile lo useyindoda? How do we then say okay, lo sesiyamgraduate-ke manje ukuthi uyindoda? What are the actions abonakalayo emntwini osekhulile ekubeni umfana waba yindoda? Because uMondli ngoba eseyikhulumile le, angifuni ukuthi ngize ngikhohle mhlawumbe
Yes.
touch that part before ngifunde la amanye ama-comments.
Okay. Mhlawumbe, let's start from here. Lento iqala ekutheni, first things first, connect with your creator. uNkulunkulu kuqala.
Yeah.
Awusiyindoda, ungayibiza ngayo, but awukwazi ukuba indoda phelele ungazazi, ungaconnectile nala uqhamuka khona. God is your first point of departure. Now uyibona lapho ukuthi le ndoda iserious ngobudoda bayo. 2, ungamthathi serious umuntu othi indoda kodwa ungakazi uyibona indoda ayisabayo noma emqondisayo.
Powerful.
Indoda engasabi umuntu ingozi. Being a man is having the ability to be dangerous, but being able to control that's being a man. Ukuthi ukwazi ukuthi ucontrol ubungozi bakho. That's the first thing of being a man. So umuntu mbona lapho ukuthi akadlebeleki, futhi umuntu othi mina ngisaba umuntu, umgade lo muntu ukuthi indoda makuthiwa le. But over and above that, indoda uyizolimini. Indoda inama boundaries ukuthi I can say certain things, I can't say certain things. I can allow certain things to happen. I can be influenced to this far. Uyamuzwa umuntu ocaptured mayikhuluma ukuthi lona nje uyikhulumela into ayizwe ikhulunywa lapha ngaphandle, but akusiyindoda lekhulumayo, umuntu nje onentshebe omdala. Yebo. But umuntu oyindoda uyayizwa into ephuma emlonyeni wakhe ukuthi indoda ke lekhuluma la. Kwesinye isikhathi enye into engeke ngisho ngithi amakhehla are your most source of information, especially lamakhehla asemakhaya.
Yeah.
Whether uyakholwa noma akakholwa, because as umzalwane uyindoda ekholwayo, hayi ukuthi uyikholwe leyindoda. Ngiyayichaza ngelinye ilanga leyo.
Yeah.
But you must listen to the wisdom. Kune wisdom yomuntu omdala, otherwise ngabe iBhayibheli alisho ukuthi hlonipha uyihlo nonyoka.
Yeah.
Kune wisdom esemntwini omdala that you can never ever get anywhere. Ingakho kwesinye isikhathi siyithola sinjena nje thina the black generation, because kunale wisdom enye eyalahleka esingayitholanga. So
Yeah.
all those things will characterize uyayizwa indoda uma uyindoda nawe ukuthi wayindoda le. Uyamuzwa futhi umuntu odilutiwe ukuthi wayi umuntu wesilisa lo oyidiluthelwe nje Nkosi yami umhlaba, kodwa ke mhlambe ngelinye ilanga uNkulunkulu yomsiza kakhulu. But those are the things you have to look out for, because indoda, it's a graduation, ukwenza, it's an action. Kufanele kube khona into oyenzayo, ngeke nje uthi ngoba nakho usuzelwe with a private party yomuntu wesilisa then that makes you a man. No, it just makes you a male.
Yeah. Yo,
Yeah, so
yo.
I think that would be my contribution.
Wow, this was very, very powerful. Indoda ukuba capable ukuthi ube dangerous but be able to maintain. Yo, that is wisdom. That is wisdom because mhlawumbe enye into esidukisayo ilento yokuthi ubudoda sifunda kakhulu esikweni lesiZulu like
Right,
for instance ngizothini nje kuthiwa number one indoda lo kwayikhuluma ukuthi indoda ngenkomo zayo bakufundisa ukuba nenkani ufundiswe ukuba nenkani ey'ntweni ukuze kuzobonakala ukuthi cha uyindoda ngampela ufundiswe iy'ndlela zokukhuluma mhlampe like ukulwa ungamsabi ukuyiveza ukuthi enye insizwa uyisabe amanye amadoda awayisaba uma ungayisaba enye insizwa ila khona ekubonakala ukuthi cha no uyindoda ngampela maybe that is why kaZulu sinamadoda angazi ukuthi iliphi igama engalibiza ngalo yabaleka leli gama engalibiza ngalo kodwa amadoda empi abantu abahlezi benempi nje befuna ukushaya befuna ukulimaza befuna ukukhipha igazi ukuze kubonakale ukuthi ba amadoda uyabo and then maybe mhlambe into ilimala lapho because we learn from being a man in a cultural perspective then
environment.
yes, environment.
Yeah,
Then going to our roots, ukuthi okay, kahle, who is our creator? Uyabo?
yes,
Because
yes,
now
yes.
we are learning to be a man. Thola i-foundation. Going back to our creator because njengoba dushile ukuthi awukwazi ukuthi ungalungisa i-Mercedes uyoyilungisa ka-VW noma uyoyilungisa ka-Toyota. I-Mercedes iyise ka-Mercedes because yenziwe yibona bazi yonke into they will just grab i-manual yibona bazokutshela ukuthi inkinga ila. So I think men must go back to God. Men must go back to their position because I think first week kwi-Revelation Time show kwi-God and Men conference ispeaker sasikhuluma ngokuthini the position of priority ekhuluma ngamadoda ngokuba ama-leader ukuthi if you want to be a man a true leader you need to go back to God because zonke lezi zinto lezi uNkulunkulu installer zona to be a true leader to be a strong man to be zonke lezi zinto lezi ey'dingala emadodeni zitholakala kuNkulunkulu so thina we tend to be men ngezinto esiyicabangela thina noma ngamadoda lawo esizenzela wona thina sithi noma susuka nje hayi usuyindoda ngampela so today
Yeah.
yes sir
Mhlawumbe nje ukungena elokhuzeni umntakaNcebo ithi into abafana balwayo ayamadoda
yes
uma kuthiwa ngoba kufanele niqale nikhuliswe uma nikhathwa ukuthi weyilwane kusuke kukhona into abasuke befuna ukuthi uyidevelop uma nenziswa certain things mhlawumbe kuyahlinzwa kuthiwe bamba la funda ukuhlinza kukhona izinto abasuke befuna ukuyidevelop but izinto lezo zabafana uma usuyindoda awukwazi ukuqhubeka wenza into ingakho uthole abafana abalwayo beyibiza ngamadoda you can't find a man ilwa as a man you avoid a conflict and a confrontation as much as you can because you've got a lot to lose. This ability of being dangerous, but at the same time, we control it. Don't be a danger to the same people you're supposed to protect. uNkulunkulu enikeza indoda the muscles in the body and amnikeze this thing yokuthi abe ne physical power angayinikezanga umuntu wesifazane wayenzela ukuthi kube uyena oprotectayo hayi ukuthi ayisebenzise ekutheni ukuqhasha inhlanzi no so back to God uwakhelane ama-muscle kumuntu wesilisa wayengawakhela ukuthi balwe ngawo, wayewakhela ukuthi ba-protecte whoever it is that they need to protect. So all these things, ingakho ngithi umfowethu, one of the things ezisishayile kakhulu is the gap that is created. But we are the ones now, because we have this information, ngoba uNkulunkulu uyakwazi ukuyilungisela.
Yeah.
Noma ngabe kuthiwa igap ingakanani, uNkulunkulu uyakwazi ukuyivala anikeze information. But ifuna lento ukuthi thina sibuyele kuyena siyomfuna ukuthi uNkulunkulu, where are you with this man thing? Now that we have started, we cannot stop but continue to do this thing until we find it again. And when we do, laba bazobe besilandela, they will have it easy, because now banendlela abazoyihamba. Abafana bami nje, they will know ukuthi don't do this. If you do this, these are the consequences. But mina, as your father, I'm not going to shield you and stop you. What I'm going to do is to be on the other side. Yeah. But that's my job, because you are my responsibility. So that uzokwazi na ukuthi ukhule ube indoda ngokwakho, but you do have a guideline. So now that is what we need to have. So we need to identify ukuthi iziphi lezi intshebe eziyama males ekufanele ukuthi nazo siyilole ukuze ilunge zibe ilama men esiwafunayo, ukuze lento isabalale, sibe baningi esinale information esizoyifafaza kulabantu esifuna ukuyifafaza.
This is very, very powerful. While sakhuluma ngalokho ngicela ukubuza lo mbuzo, because uthi a man is someone who has a ability to be dangerous, but at the same time, because you are a man, you are able to control yourself, because uNkulunkulu ukupha ama-muscles not to fight or expose yourself to violence, but to protect your people, because you have a lot to lose. Now, how do we define a man who is a coward?
Simple. A man who's a coward is a man who wants to prove himself that he is a man. Ivaka lelo. Uma ufuna ukuyiprove ukuthi uyindoda, ukhombisa ukuthi uyivaka. Ukuba ivaka, iproblem esibe nayo ukuthi siyitshela ukuthi ukuba igwala ukwesaba ukulwa. No. Ukuba igwala ukuyisaba wena. Ukuthi uyabona ungazazi, ungafuni ukuyithola ukuthi ubani. A man that is a man is a man that wants to find himself. Afuna ukuyithola ukuthi ngubani. Afuna ukwazi ama-weaknesses akhe. Afuna ukudila nama-weaknesses akhe. But ivaka lifuna ukuwakhava ngokuthi lizenze isigora.
Sure.
And go around trying to show everybody ukuthi that's a coward. So it's we have to yabona into esizayo. We've got a Bible that is a book that eyasiza abanye ngaleze namanje same word. Akekho wakwabhala into njengeBhayibheli esiza generations upon generations upon generations. You have to go back to the book, because enye into esiyibalekelayo ukuthi sifuna ukulazi. Bakhona abantu abalazi iBhayibheli, but who run away from the author. Because iBhayibheli is not a Bible without you knowing the author. Yona lento yashaya abaFarisi makufika uJesu, baqhubeka nama-scribes bashiya umuntu okuyena wabhalile. Yabo, lento yabenza ukuthi bavele baba dom, bagcina bengabanga ilutho, because bona babengafuni ukubona umuntu obhale lento abayitshela ukuthi bayazi. So uma ufuna ukuba iqhawe, zithole wena kuqala ukuthi ubani, ikuphi la uhluleka khona, because lento ekwenza ukuthi uhambe ufuna ukuyoshaya abantu uyikhombisa ukuthi wena uyizidlakela, iyona kanye lento ekukhombisayo ukuthi ubuvaka lobo. Ufuna ukufihla lento, awufuni kuvele ukuthi your vulnerability inside. So that's my definition.
Yo, that was very, very powerful. Buffet, today we are we are having a profound session. Buffet, ukuthi-ke nje the only thing eyohlezi isiphoqa isikhathi siyohlezi sisiphoqa. And let me just go through our comments for the last time, and then we close and we call it a day. Buffet, yo, I'm enjoying this conference, Buffett. I'm enjoying this conference. Pastor Mondle uthi ukuhleleka kwethu doesn't make us, or ukuhluleka kwethu doesn't make us less of a man. It should motivate us to reconnect with God. I love that one, Mondle. And then Nqobile Zindela saying, wow, yazi umuntu uyafunda la, indeed Nqobile siyafunda ngampela, siyakhiwa, we are being empowered, we are being builded, we are being revived as men. Pastor Sandile Dlamini, Boys to Men Conference, fire. Thank you very much, Mfundisi wami. That's powerful. Usabeka kabi umuntu ongasabi muntu. Yes, mvangeli wami, unqothi indoda uyizwa olimini. Pastor Sandile again saying your actions make you a man. Thanks, Mfundisi. Ibutho ophuma silo, hey, awaza ngamadoda akaZulu. A man avoids conflicts because he has a lot to lose. Mfundisi Sandile, nami ngiyibambile leyo nje iyona, those are one of the points engiwabambile ekubeni indoda ukuthi if I'm a man I must avoid myself to conflicts because I've got a lot to lose. Uthi Uriya ngiyayithanda leyo ukuthi indoda izwakala ngolimi. I give that a very big amen from my shando. Don't be a danger to the people you need to protect. Obviously, that can only happen if man is reconnected to Creator. You don't have to strive to prove that which you are. An insecure man is a combative man, not just physically. This applies to women as well. Yes. A coward is a man who wants to prove himself that he is a man. Where Jesus, I wish everyone would hear these teachings. Mobile, that is my wish. Guys, please do share the live, extend the invitation, let people watch this live because there's a great transformation la. Kunjengoba ilokhuza yakhona isho itimu ukuthi we are transforming boys to men. Kune transformation eyenzeka la. So if you don't invite people to come, angazi ukuthi ufunani, because we are building men la. This has been amazing. Siyabonga, siyanconcoza. I missed half of it. I'll have to go back and get the whole session. You must do so. You must do so, Ria. You must do so. Man of God, yo, what a session. What a session. You know, njengamanje I'm just speechless. Anginawo ngisho imibuzo because you covered most of the things ebesithi sifuna ukuthi mhlawumbe sizoyikhuluma siyibuze, and you just covered everything. But because of time, I believe ukuthi njengoba nemibuzo ingasaveli, I believe and I'm sure that everyone is satisfied from what we've received namhlanje. So I don't know ukuthi mhlambe khona yini office mhlambe amazwi office ukushiya nawo osukune namhlanje, while we still need to go through this session again and grasp everything that we have shared with us. uNkulunkulu ayibekile enhlizweni yakho. What is it that you want to say to men as we are closing and wrapping up? What is it that you want to say to all men in South Africa, to all men in the world, or to all men that will reach to this live and hear ukuthi kunjani ukuba indoda?
All I will say, Matu, is that you are the foundation that God laid for this world to be a better place. Believe in that, trust in that. No one can take that away from you. They will try, but they won't succeed. Secondly, the desire of a man is his kindness. Be kind. A poor man is better than a liar. Basically, this statement is saying, be gracious, in whatever it is that you do, and you will
Yeah.
see the goodness of God. That's all I want to say.
Yo, man of God, thank you very much. May God bless you. May God enlarge your territory. Yo, angazi this
Thank
life
you.
for me, this life
Yeah.
was a blessing. I feel like I was a boy. After hearing this teaching, I feel like I bengisawumfana nje. Indaba into yami ayikho. Bengisawumfana. Isayinde le ndlela bafowethu, isayinde le ndlela. Indeed, we need to stick to old men and grasp and sincele ulwazi, sincele wisdom. Whenever you want wisdom, we need to go to old people. Khona lento
Yes.
eyikhulumile man of God le yama-divorce ukuthi kunento sinaka ama-statistics amanje ukuthi ama-divorce
Yes.
are going up. We
Mm.
forget about the past ukuthi kwi-past ama-divorce ayengekho. Why don't you go
Yes.
back to kubantu ababekhona in the past, sibuze bona ukuthi kanti nina naniyenza kanjani lento ama-divorce engekho njengoba manje siphila sinama-divorce amangaka. So this tells us ukuthi if you want to have wisdom, we need to go to obaba abadala, we need to go to obaba bethu, we need to go to omkhulu, sibuze kubona, sibabuze ukuthi hayi bo kanti nina nanenza kanjani, nakhu thina sihluleka siyadivorca left and right, kanti nina benenza kanjani. So
Yes.
this is teaching men ukuthi if you want to obtain wisdom, go to old people. Even the Bible says
True. Yeah.
it's Proverbs ukuthi hambani kuye kulaba abampunga ukuze nizocela
Yes.
ulwazi
Yeah.
kubona. So
Yeah.
umuntu
That's
ompunga
true.
ungamthathi kancane. Lowo muntu usuke
Yes.
ephethe wisdom engakazo uyibone because that person is well experienced. Ingakho kuthiwa
That's
isiZulu
true.
indlela ibuzwa kwabaphambili. Man of God, once again, thank you very much. It was a privilege and honor to have you on the show, and we believe and we trust God ukuthi nangelinye ilanga sophinde sibe nawe uzolibe usifundisa nje usicathulise usikhulise noma ngabe kuthiwa-ke akusasiyona-ke i-men's conference, maybe on some other stuff or some other things, because this show we talk and discuss about a lot of topics nje akhona general njengabantu esiphilayo, but we always say ukuthi at the end of the day noma ngabe i-topic akuyona yabazalwane kuphela, but the end of the day the
Yes.
solution must be biblical, because everything
Yes.
thina as Christians, this is a Christian show, as much
Yes.
as it's covered everyone, but
Mm.
solution I always say, but that solution must be godly, must be biblical. So thank you very much, man of God, and to everyone who was watching. This show is not Le NK1 show, and this Boys to Men conference is not for only izinceku, not for only amadoda asinjisiwe kuphela. If you are a man, you need to come here and listen. Uzwe ukuthi njengoba uleka ekubeni indoda, why uleka? It's because you need to go back to God. Men, go back to God. Thank you guys. Good night to everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you very much, man of God. God bless you.
God bless you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.